yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang the shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Southern Metropolitan Cemeteries Trust is privileged to be hosting our annual Bunurong Christmas service online this year. While we're unable to gather in person due to COVID-19 restrictions, this online service grants us an opportunity to come together and share our reflections as we honour and celebrate the lives of your loved ones. We ask that you join us in paying respect to those who you may know that have passed away, and take a moment to reflect their time with you and the memories that you shared with them. We come together to honour and celebrate the lives of your loved ones, while providing support, connection and comfort to each other.
Hello, my name's Jane Grover, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Southern Metropolitan Cemeteries Trust. On behalf of the Trust, I welcome you to our online Christmas Remembrance Service here at Bunurong Memorial Park. I would like to begin by acknowledging the Bunurong people, who are the traditional custodians of this land. I would also like to pay my respect to the elders, past, present and emerging, of the Southeast Kulin Nation. A very special welcome to community members who have previously attended our on-site services of remembrance. We also extend a very warm welcome to all our new members. It is wonderful that you could join us today through our online service. To each one of you, I want to sincerely welcome you and assure you that in your journey through grief, you are not alone. Some of you have been coming to this service for several years, and for others, it may be your first time. This service is for you. This has been a year like no other, and while most of us have faced challenges and obstacles, some of us have been carrying a much heavier burden. With the events of this year forcing us into isolation, a strong sense of community has never been more important. For those who may not be aware, we have designed a very special place called the Centre for Care and Wellbeing. This is a safe place where grieving individuals and families can connect, share their common bond and support each other compassionately. If you need support or are looking to connect with other people, please visit our website for additional information. We understand the importance of ceremony and memory in your healing process. The Christmas Remembrance Service is an opportunity to come together in the spirit of community to honour and celebrate the lives of the very special people who have played such an important part of our own lives. As we pause to reflect and remember, let us consider that while our loved ones might not be physically with us, death does not end our connection to them, it merely shifts the relationship from one of presence to one of remembrance. We continue to care for and cherish our loved ones before, now, and always. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the people who have worked so hard to bring us this event. A warm thank you to Marg Fitzpatrick, who will be our celebrant today and will be conducting the Christmas service with us. And of course, thank you to our team at SMCT, who helped bring this online event together in such extraordinary circumstances. Given that we can't be together physically this year, we have decided to send each of you a physical memento, a star for you to return to us and place on our Christmas tree in honour of your loved ones. The tree will be adorned with your beautiful messages of love and remembrance, and it stands as a poignant reminder that although we are physically distant, we are still together. If you are on site, we welcome you to visit our cafe at Bunurong and add your messages to the tree. We also invite you to share any photos, messages, stories and memories of your loved ones in the comments section during today's service. It is now my absolute pleasure to invite our celebrant, Marg Fitzpatrick, to share her reflections. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. And I'm delighted to be joining with you all once more for this very special Christmas Remembrance Service. Traditionally, we would be gathered together in the one space for this service, but this year we're coming together online. And whether we are sitting alone or with your own small family group, know that we are in fact all part of something much bigger, as together we will light candles, write messages, and pause to reflect upon the loved ones we are missing as we approach this coming Christmas. As humans, one of our basic needs is to know that we are all loved and that our life mattered, and that when we're gone, we are still remembered. By being part of this service, we are reassuring the ones we are missing that we do remember them and that they do still live on in our hearts. At this time of year, everywhere we go, we are surrounded by the images and buzz of Christmas. Beautifully decorated trees and houses, Christmas music playing, people busily shopping for presents. Some are making plum puddings and shortbread, others are wearing Santa hats and reindeer's ears, and so much more. And if we ask ourselves the question, what is Christmas? It's really hard to define, because it means different things to different people and is celebrated and acknowledged in so many ways. And whilst each of our families has our own unique Christmas traditions and rituals, most of them involve giving gifts and spending precious time together with family and friends. And as our families grow and change, so too do our Christmases. New ones are born, and sadly, others are farewelled. So our hearts can be pulled in many directions at Christmas as we face the reality that it is both a time to celebrate and a time to mourn and to remember. And whether this is your first time joining us for this service, or if you have rejoined us for another year, what unites us all is that at some particular time over the past, we have each endured the heartache of losing someone we loved. And in the lead up to Christmas, our thoughts often turn to them. Many people acknowledge that coming together with others and being able to ponder special memories and moments can help to bring a feeling of comfort and peace. I know that some of you are facing and bracing yourself for your very first Christmas without your mum or your dad, your son or your daughter, your grandchild, your grandparent, your brother or your sister, or perhaps another family member or someone who's been like a family to you. And in this year, like no other, due to COVID-19 restrictions, you may not have been able to be with your loved one during their final days or give them the farewell they deserved. So your sense of loss and grief is still very raw, and to you, we open our hearts. For others, it has been a year or more since you said goodbye to the ones you love. And for some families, I know this event has become a tradition and you have been coming here for many years, honouring and remembering your special person, or like myself, remembering several family members who are missing from your Christmas celebrations, but who are still very much present in your hearts. And so it is with mixed emotions that we all approach Christmas 2020. Well-known author and grief counsellor Dr. Alan Wolfelt reminds us that when a person's life ends, our relationship with them does not. It just changes shape. Taking the time to pause, to acknowledge, to remember, and to mourn is an important way of keeping that relationship alive. To pay tribute to a life that has passed, one ritual that is commonly shared across many cultures around the world is the lighting of a candle of remembrance. Burning a candle in remembrance of a loved one signifies that their memory lives on and still burns brightly within our hearts. Many find comfort and strength when candles of remembrance are being lit together. So let us light our candles together now. And as you each light your candles and pause to reflect on precious memories, for those who don't have candles with them, Jane and I will light the Bunurong candles of remembrance on your behalf.
We've reached the point of the service where we would traditionally ask you to light a candle. Even though we cannot be together physically this year, we invite you to take this time to get your candles ready and pause to reflect on your memories and the experiences you shared with your loved ones. And now, in the light and warm glow of all our candles, we pause to share past Christmas services and events that have taken place over the years here at Bunurong Memorial Park. We would like to share a poem with you to guide you in your reflection. Until We Meet Again, by an unknown author. We think about you always. We talk about you still. You've never been forgotten, and you never will. We hold you close within our hearts, and there you will remain to walk and guide us through our lives until we meet again.
I began this service by asking the question, what is Christmas? And it seems that for most of us, some of the key themes of Christmas are around giving, remembering, and sharing. Being part of this service today is a gift you give both to your loved ones and to yourselves. To your loved ones who have died, you are giving them one of the most precious gifts of all, the gift of your time. Time that you have specifically set aside just to focus on them, to let them know that they are still very much loved and remembered and hold a special place in your hearts. To yourselves, you are respecting and valuing your need to mourn and to remember, to pause and to reflect, to share memories, to write messages, to shed a few tears, to light candles, and to listen to music. And to your family with whom you will be able to share this Christmas, you are freeing some space in your heart to be at peace and to be able to enjoy this special time together. Grieving, as we know, is not a one-size-fits-all process. And even within families, what works for you might not work for others. So it's good to have a few options open. To honour a loved one at Christmas, some families hang a special bauble on the tree, wear mum or dad's favourite hat or scarf, make Nan's famous plum pudding or shortbread. Some families choose to put gifts on a giving tree, deliver Christmas toys or hampers, or make donations to a special charity. Some families gather together at their loved one's resting place or attend a religious or spiritual ceremony. Others honour a loved one by going to the holiday place where their families have been for many a year and which holds so many precious memories. In our family, as many of us live in different states, we now begin each Christmas celebration, whether together or online, by raising a glass to my mum and dad and my brother and his wife, and recalling some of the many funny family stories. We also talk about some of our highlights of the year, including the acts of kindness we have been grateful for, so as to keep alive mum and dad's spirit of gratitude and of always trying to help others. Speaking of always helping others, some of you may be familiar with the concept of paying it forward. It became well known through a movie of the same name, which tells of a young boy whose wish was to change the world by setting up a cycle of doing good for others, not just by paying back favours done to us, but rather by paying forward random acts of kindness to others, who in turn might pass it on again to another, thus setting up a ripple effect of kindness. It's one of those family feel-good movies you can watch over and over again. And if you haven't seen it yet, give yourself a treat this Christmas and see if you can find it. It's titled Paying It Forward. Some of you already know my passion for this concept, but I mention it again this year in the hope that you might consider including this idea into your family tradition as one way of keeping your loved one's spirit alive and active in the world. 2020 has been described as a year like no other. We're all aware of the health pandemic that has been sweeping the world, causing so much illness, hardship, and sadly, loss of life. But I believe there's also been another pandemic that seems to have merged. And this is a RAC pandemic, random acts of kindness. So many wonderful stories have been told of people all over the world doing beautiful things for others in their community. And many of these are just small things, but they are having a huge impact on the giver, the recipient, and the community at large. Neighbours are checking up on the elderly or those living alone. Singers and musicians are recording free entertainment just to help boost the morale of others. Children have been drawing on footpaths, decorating wooden spoons and placing them in parks and gardens, and hanging colourful rainbows and toys in windows, just to help brighten our day. Just imagine waking up, opening your front door, and there's a bunch of freshly picked flowers or herbs, or maybe a few homegrown tomatoes, or some yummy home-baked cookies or bread. No note. Or, if there is a note, maybe it says something like, just to brighten your day. No name, just an anonymous rack, a random act of kindness. The impact of this just can't be measured. And having been on the receiving end myself, I know firsthand how it feels and how it sets up a cycle of you wanting to do something similar for others. This is the kindness pandemic, a bit like a Mexican wave of kindness. And I know how much this would warm my mum and dad's hearts because this is how they lived their life. And recognising that many families are struggling this year, other families are working together to try and help brighten their Christmas. Maybe we could do likewise in honour of our loved ones. But the reality is, it doesn't matter how our families acknowledge those who are missing. It only matters that we find some way to do this and not leave their absence to be the elephant in the room. You might even like to share today in the comments section what your family does or is planning on doing this year to remember your loved ones at Christmas. And this may inspire and help others. Each year, one of the highlights of this service is hanging our personal messages of love for our loved ones on the Christmas tree. And as Jane mentioned earlier in her words of welcome, whilst we couldn't be together physically this year, our Christmas tree of love and remembrance is standing once more here at Bunurong as a poignant reminder that though we are physically distant, we are still in this together. I trust your family has received your Christmas star, and if you haven't already done so, when you have personalised yours, you can return this star to us, or you can contact us and we will write your message on a star and place it on the Christmas tree for you. And of course, if you'd prefer, you are welcome to visit Cafe Vita here at Bunurong Memorial Park, and keeping in mind social distancing restrictions, you can add your message to the tree in person. Please remember that you are also welcome to share any photos, messages, stories and memories of your loved one in the comments section during today's service. I'd now like to share with you a poem which I believe reflects the message of this Christmas Remembrance Service. Although it's sad to reminisce on Christmases we knew, this year I shall celebrate in memory of you. I'll put aside my sorrow with every unshed tear and concentrate on all the joy we shared when you were here. Our time together taught me what Christmas time is for. And that's what I'll remember until we meet once more. And now, on behalf of Southern Metropolitan Cemeteries Trust, I'd like to thank you all for joining us for this 2020 Christmas Remembrance Service. We hope it has offered you a chance to honour and to mourn the special people you have loved and lost, as well as to celebrate the wonderful memories they have left with you. And on your behalf, I would also like to thank Southern Metropolitan Cemeteries Trust and the staff of Bunurong Memorial Park for making this event possible.
We are aware that these occasions can bring up fresh memories of immense grief. Please know that you're not alone and there are many resources available to our community. We encourage you to visit smct.org.au for a list of bereavement counselling, support organisations and online wellness videos. On behalf of Southern Metropolitan Cemeteries Trust, we would like to thank you for attending our very special Christmas online service and hope to see you at our next event. From all of us here at Bunurong Memorial Park, we wish you a very happy, safe and peaceful Christmas.